put his name and password in, so I can change his password. I can put his email address on here. I have to put that in. And I can put his phone number and stuff like that, and his text information. Mother's maiden name, this is the question, in case he forgets his password, he'll ask the question. And the user role. He can be a tenant, a facility manager, or the contractor. The tenant has the lowest thing. Now, high, medium, or low priority on the alarms. Which alarms do you want him to get? Maybe you don't want him to get any. Just uncheck that. And right now he's not going to get any alarms because they're not going to be emailed to him. They'll show up on the screen if he goes into it, but it won't be emailed to him. The thermostats that he can look at. I click on assign thermostats. So, you know what, he's a tenant, he's only in one building, you know, one office. He doesn't need to look at the whole building. I'll assign him thermostat number 7. See which one he's got here. He's got none right now, so I'm going to give him zone 9. That's the one where he is, so that'll be his thermostat. I'm going to save that. Now maybe he can look at 5 or 6. Maybe he's going to look at all of them. I can put whatever I want him to see in there. Now what do I want him to be able to do? That's under privileges. Yeah, he pays the rent, but I still don't want him playing with everything. So I put him in here. And here's his privileges. I give him all privileges. I can give him nothing. I can, you know, right now he's got all these overview. You can look at the overview screen. You can change the thermostat set points. You can change the schedules. I don't want to do that. In fact, but that's only in that one stat. Maybe I want him to have an overview. And I don't want him to see the floor plan. Do I want him to see the schedule? Yeah, I'll let him play with the schedule. Trends and alarms? No. Thermostats? No, he's fine. I don't want him programming anything. This is all he's going to see. So when he logs in, he sees very little. And you can play with that too. You can, you know, set, when you use the demo, you can set up one of them for yourself. Say, okay, I'm going to log in as a tenant and just grab a couple stats, and so when you demonstrate it to your customer, you can say, hey, look at this. This is what your tenants can see. They can't mess it up. I say that, but there's always a way to mess something up. You work hard enough at it. Now, the programming tool, I'm not saving that. Man, this is slow. Now, the programming tool is right here, and I'm going to grab this top one. It tells you what model it is too. It's the H1009, this is the 1017 here. It puts the actual model in there. You can't tell it to put the wrong model in. So, I can say, you know what, this is exactly the same as that other one, so I can hit the copy button and copy it from the other one. Or I can change it myself. What's the name of the thermostat? I'm going to call this one my thermostat. Okay. What model? Yeah, that one type of equipment, standard or heat pump. It's already got the Neuron ID in there, so I don't need to put in the service pin. Lockout status, keypad and lockout status rather, enable everything. Allow them to use the set points and override or information key, that's it. Middle key on the top there only. So here's my capability on that stat. Right now I'm enabling everything. I can play with the stat, change the schedule and all that stuff in the stat. You can change the schedule in the stat all day long. It's not going to make any difference because the schedule is coming from the WebStat. The only time that schedule will make a difference is if the WebStat dies. Then it goes to the schedule that's in there. System mode, auto, off, heat, or cool. Typically it's auto in a commercial building. Fan status on or auto. And override duration. When I hit the override button, how long do I want that to go for? You go up to 8 hours. 3 hours is the default. So when I come in here and I say, you know what, it's the building's not occupied, but I need to run the schedule. I'm going to hit the override button, temporary occupied. Hit that, I get 3 hours. And I can hit it again, take it off. Now, it's not going to make much difference because it's not controlling anything. What transformers are being used? Now, typically a heating transformer is used, just a 2-wire, and then you jump for heating and cooling. But you could put 2 separate transformers on this thing, one for heating, one for cooling. I don't see that very often. In fact, I've never seen that at all, but I'm sure you can do it. I think someone's done it for a reason. Cooling configure. I'm sorry, I didn't hit inputs today.
Why does that make a difference?
Some systems, I don't know why you even care on this thing.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know, because it's nowhere else in the program. Shouldn't make a difference at all. I don't know. I know, it's for the wiring diagram. When it creates a wiring diagram, it puts that in there. It shows 2 transformers. Now the inputs, unfortunately, it shows the old model with sensors. So local is the stat itself. So if I'm using a local input, that's my thermostat. Okay. If I use the other inputs, oh, it does show new models. I'm sorry. The TR21 or 24. The TR21 is a remote sensor only. TR24 is both temperature and humidity. TR22 and 23 actually has a knob on it. So if they have a knob on there, you could adjust warm or cooler the knob. You have a small range, but you have that ability. But if I tell it that, then it gives me the ability to change it. If I say here. Right now we're doing local, there's no remote sensor on it. How many remote sensors? So if I'm using a remote, I have to tell how many you're averaging. So if I put in, say I grab that one, I can use 2 sensors. It would tell me in the wiring diagram. This doesn't do anything for the control, but it does say it does add to the wiring diagram. It shows the 2 sensors and how to wire them. What is your relative humidity input? Local. It's built into the stat. So I can have a remote humidity sensor. Outdoor temperature, I can put an outdoor sensor on this thing. But if I tell it it's an outdoor air sensor, I better wire one on there. If I don't have one, but I want to get that information from the network, I can click on here. Let's say one of them has it. I can go to a network, and I can say, one of these other stats actually have it wired to it, so I can grab that stat and grab the information about the outdoor air sensor off that and move it to my stat. And occupied sensor, oops, I did the wrong one. Occupied sensor input, do I have an occupancy sensor? No, I don't, but if I did, I either get it from the network, maybe I have one stat has the occupancy sensor, so you walk into the room, it goes to occupied, but I might have 2 air handlers running this room. So I can link them together. And discharge air sensor would be a remote sensor. So if I wired a discharge air sensor, it would have to be remote. It would be remote or not. Cooling configuration, pretty simple.